Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the financial jargon so you don't have to. And today we are diving deep into NovaBay Pharmaceuticals Incorporated's latest proxy statement for their 2025 annual meeting of stockholders. Get ready because this one is a doozy with some significant events and proposals on the table that could really change the game for NovaBay investors. And if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you are subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where we break down these filings even further. Alright, so NovaBay is getting ready for their 2025 annual meeting of stockholders, and they are asking their shareholders to vote on a whole list of important proposals, all tied to a major investment transaction that has already seen a first closing. Think of this filing as NovaBay saying, hey, we made some big deals, and we need your official okay on how things are shaping up for the future. This meeting is scheduled for the 16th of October 2025, and it will be a virtual event. The company is laying out 12 proposals for a vote, but honestly, the big story here revolves around a deal with David E. Lazar, who is investing up to $6 million in the company through 2 closings. This investment is a pretty big deal, especially considering NovaBay has been divesting assets like their eye care and a chunk of their wound care business. So what is NovaBay really telling us here? Well, they are essentially informing their shareholders about the ins and outs of this investment transaction and what it means for the company's future. It is a long document full of proposals that all seem to feed into this central investment deal, which includes things like issuing more stock, raising the authorized number of shares, and even a potential reverse stock split. First up, they are looking to elect 3 Class III directors to their board: Dr. Paul E. Freeman, Mr. David E. Lazar, and Ms. Swan Sit. Now, David E. Lazar is not just a director nominee, he is also the Chief Executive Officer of NovaBay effective from August 2025. This tells you straight away that this investment is bringing in new leadership and a new direction for the company. This is a pretty critical one. NovaBay needs stockholder approval to issue a massive amount of common stock, approximately 77 million shares from the conversion of Series D preferred stock, and another 43 million shares from Series E preferred stock. In total, that's up to 120 million shares of common stock. This is a huge number, and it means existing shareholders are going to see their ownership percentage significantly diluted. Basically, Mr. Lazar's investment is converting into a very large chunk of the company's stock, about 95% on a fully diluted basis after the final closing. They also want to increase the number of shares available under their 2017 Omnibus Incentive Plan by 1 million shares. This is common practice when a company is looking to attract and retain talent, especially when navigating through significant changes or pursuing new growth opportunities. Here is where it gets interesting. As part of this deal, some of the current non-employee directors are resigning, and as a thank you, or rather as compensation for entering into release agreements, NovaBay plans to issue them restricted common stock valued at $40,000 each. This is to secure a smooth transition and get key people to sign off on the deal. Now, for a move that often catches investors' attention, a reverse stock split. NovaBay is asking for approval to conduct a reverse stock split at a ratio of not less than 1:2 and not more than 1:10. The goal here is usually to increase the stock price per share to make it more attractive to institutional investors and to comply with stock exchange listing requirements. However, as we often see, reverse splits can sometimes signal or coincide with stock price declines, so it is something to watch closely. Now let's talk about the numbers and what they mean for NovaBay. Looking at the executive compensation for 2024 and 2023, we see Mr. Justin M. Hall earned $350,000 in salary in both years, with a bonus in 2024 that was notably zero. Mr. Tommy Law, our CFO, earned $170,000 in salary in 2024 and also received a bonus of $42,500 in 2024 for his 2023 performance. But the really big compensation events are happening now with the new agreements effective August 2025. Mr. Hall's salary is reduced to $175,000 and Mr. Law's is kept at $170,000. Mr. Hall is also getting significant cash severance payments totaling nearly $1 million as part of his separation from the CEO role. Mr. Law is eligible for a $170,000 retention bonus and received a signing bonus of $89,250. Let's jump to the pay versus performance figures because this really shows the alignment between what executives are paid and how the company is doing financially. For 2024, the CEO's compensation actually paid was around $366,000, while the non-CEO NEOs averaged about $220,000. However, when you look at the company's total stockholder return, or TSR, for 2024, you see a figure of 0.13. That means for every $100 an investor put in, they only got 13 cents back. Meanwhile, the company reported a net loss of $7.2 million for 2024. This trend of negative TSR and net losses persisted in 2023 as well, with a TSR of 0.84 and a net loss of $9.6 million. Even in 2022, the TSR was 7.99, which sounds good, but it came with a net loss of over $10 million. This pay versus performance analysis highlights a disconnect where executive compensation seems to be maintained, while stockholder returns have been consistently negative or very low. On the audit front, NovaBay paid its accounting firm Withum Smith Brown Incorporated $492,960 in 2024 and $384,800 in 2023. The bulk of these fees are audit fees, which is standard, but it is worth noting that these costs exist as the company navigates its financial reporting. This section is always a good place to see who is benefiting from these deals. The investment transaction with David E. Lazar is by far the most significant. He is set to become a major shareholder with up to 95% ownership post-conversion, and he is already the CEO. He secured rights to nominate directors and potentially become chairman. Then you have the resignation agreements with directors who are getting restricted common stock valued at $40,000 each. This is essentially the cost of ensuring a smooth board transition. We also see Poplar Point Capital Management LLC holding a significant stake of 17.5% of the common stock, and crucially they have voting commitments to support the company. As proposals, coupled with Mr. Lazar's stake, this means a substantial portion of the voting power is aligned with the new direction and proposals presented. Mr. David E. Lazar himself holds about 20% of the company on paper, but as we discussed, his ownership is expected to skyrocket to around 95% if Proposal 5 is approved. This clearly indicates a significant change in control and direct influence by Mr. Lazar. Now here is something important. The filing states that based on their review of reports and written representations from directors and officers, they believe all reporting requirements have been met. This is a standard declaration, but it suggests a clean slate regarding regulatory compliance from insiders. So what is my take on all of this? NovaBay is clearly undergoing a massive transformation. The divestitures signal a retreat from their previous focus, leaving them with minimal operations. The investment from Mr. Lazar and the accompanying proposals point towards a complete pivot, potentially a new business direction entirely opposed. Investment transaction is mentioned as a key future strategy. The financial performance, however, remains a significant concern. The TSR numbers are dismal and the company consistently reports net losses. While the reverse stock split and authorized share increases are common moves to facilitate business growth or compliance, they do not address the underlying profitability issues. The large dilution from Mr. Lazar's investment and the shift in control are major factors for existing shareholders to consider. The company is essentially betting big on this new investment to pave the way for future growth, but the path forward is certainly not without substantial risk. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching, see you next time.